commenting on human immunity today, and the agenda of the topic is categorized into groups. First chapter is talking about the non-specific defense against disease. From chapter 4 to 6 is about it. Specific immunity is from 7 to 10, and the vaccination of biology 11 to 14, and the references is 16 to 17. My name is Jennifer Nyama, and I will be exploring the subject of human immunity. I will be discussing everything from our body's first line of defense to the details of vaccine, explaining how our immunity system safeguard us against illness. This presentation will be organized into 3 sections as I've already discussed about. Non-specific defense against disease. That's the first line of defense. I'll be talking about the physical and chemical barriers. The barriers that block pathogens from entering the body, acting as the initial protection against infection. The skin, and under that we have skin, mucous membrane, cilia, and gastric acid. I will just give a brief details about it. As the skin is the physical barrier, the skin prevents infection from entering the body. Its structure composed of multiple layers of tightly packed cells makes it difficult for germs to breach. The mucous membranes are located in various entry points of the body, including the gastrointestinal, urogenital, and respiratory tract. They secrete mucus and sticky substance that traps pathogen and hinders their ability to penetrate deeper tissue. The cilia, that's where the respiratory system and the body areas are lined with the ciliated epithelial cells, which have a hair-like structure called the cilia. So that the cilia is the hair-like structure of the respiratory system in the body. This cilia beats rhythmically to expel mucus and trap pathogens from the body. Gastric acid, that's where the hydrochloric acid in the stomach creates an acidic environment that protects against the gastrointestinal illnesses by killing many intestinal germs. The second line defense, we'll be talking about the inflammation when fever, phagocytosis, and neutral killer. This is the body protective response to tissue injury of infection. Immune cells such as neutrophils and macrophages migrate to the site of infection and release chemical signal that cause blood vessels to dilate and enhance local blood flow. Fever. Another general defense mechanism is an increase in the body temperature, typically induced by parogens, substance produced by immune cells in response to infection. Fever boosts immunity function by enhancing the activity of immune cells and inhibiting the growth of cells. The neutral killer, a vital element in immune surveillance. These cells are a type of lymphocyte that identifies and destroys abdominal cells. Complement system. This comprises a group of proteins circulating in the blood that works together to enhance the immune response. Activation of the complement system can lead to pathogen lysis, promote inflammation, and mark pathogens for destruction by phagocytosis. The adaptive immunity as a crucial part of this defense line is vital for providing targeted and precise responses to infection or antigen that bypass the innate immune system. It operates by recognizing specific non-self antigens and effectively distinguishing them from self antigen or the body own cell. This recognition triggers the formation of immune pathways systematically aimed at eliminating and identify pathogens of infected cells. The primary player in adaptive immunity are antigen-specific T cells and B cells. Mature T cells in the thymus express the T cell receptors, which are specialized receptors for binding antigens. Antigens presenting cell supply major histocompatibility complex molecules that allow T cells to recognize these antigens. Once activated by APC, T cell differentiates into various subsets, including T helper cells and cytotoxic T cell. A T helper cells regulate immune response by secreting cytokines that influence activity of immune cells, while the cytotoxic T cells are responsible for directly killing the infected cells. So all these are explaining how the receptors work together and to promote antibodies. I'll move on to the next slide. The self-recognition and tolerance to own tissue and rejection compatibility complex. These molecules display fragments of self-protein on cell surfaces. The T cell recognize these self-proteins and are trained not to attack them in the process, called central tolerance. The regulatory T cells traits are specialized type of T cells that inhibit the action of other immune cells, preventing them from attacking the body's own tissue. They play a vital role in ensuring self-tolerance is maintained. Rejection of transplanted organs. Accurate rejection. This type of rejection happens right after the transplant because the recipient has exhibiting antibodies in their body that triggers the donor organ. This results in a rapid destruction of the transplanted organ. The acute rejection. This occurs within weeks to months following the transplant and involves a cellular immune response against the new organ. It can be managed with immunosuppressive medication. The chronic rejection. This is where this type of rejection develop over time and involves a mix of immune responses and other factors. It causes gradual damage to the transplanted organ. So I got an image here, and it's talking about how the 10 diseases of the immune system. Plant food product launch. Specific immune system disorder. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease marked by ongoing inflammation in the joint. In this condition, the immune system incorrectly attacks the synovial membrane, leading to pain, swelling, and stiffness in the affected area. Lupus. Lupus is also known as systemic lupus erythematosus. It's a long-term autoimmune disease that can affect the various organs and tissue in the body. The immune system creates antibodies that mistakenly target the body's own cell, resulting in inflammation and damage. So with the image here, we got that's the autoimmune disease. We got the multiple sclerosis that's happens to the brain. We got the asthma. Asthma happens to the respiratory. Systemic lupus erythematosus, that's the heart. The celiac disease, that's the intestines, and we got the rheumatoid arthritis in the knee and the joint. It happens in the joint. And eczema and psoriasis, that's where it happens on the face. Categories of acquired immunity. There are two main types of immunity: innate and adaptive. Innate immunity is a natural defense system that provides quick and general protective against infection. This includes both internal and external defense, such as fever, inflammation, and the skin. On the other hand, adaptive immunity is more specific and develops over time in response to exposure to pathogens. It can be divided into two categories, that's active and passive immunity. And under the active immunity, it occurs when the immune system responds to a pathogen independently. When it is exposed to new illness, the immune system produces unique T cells and B cells that target the specific pathogen. It also creates memory cells that provide long-lasting immunity, while B cells produce antibodies that attack and neutralize the infection. With the neutral active immunity, it develops when a person becomes immune as a direct result of getting sick. For example, someone who has chickenpox will gain immunity to the virus, which helps to protect against future infection. Vaccine creates artificial active immunity. Vaccine includes pathogens that are either weakened or active, or they contain fragments of their pathogens which trigger an immune response without causing any actual disease. This method allows individuals to develop immunity without experiencing illness themselves. Natural passive immunity also occurs when the antibodies are transferred from a mother to her baby during pregnancy and through breastfeeding and afterbirth. This process, also often called maternal passive immunity, provides temporary protection for the infant until their own immunity system is mature. Artificial passive immunity involves administration of antibodies that are created in the lab or sourced from another person or animal. This approach is used as a quick treatment to provide immediate protection against certain diseases such as snake bite or rabies. So I got a diagram here and it's talking about the mechanism of acquisition of the immunity. The top one is the passive one, that's the natural acquired one. Immunity, I already talked about. This is when the mother passes through to the baby through breast milk or through the placenta. We have the artificial acquired immunity. This one too is gained through antibodies harvested from another person or animal. That's the active. The third image is talking about the active immunity, which is gained through illness and recovery. And we have immunity acquired through a vaccine. That's where they give vaccines to children. Understanding the immune response to vaccination and its benefit. Vaccines play a crucial role in training the immune system to combat various illnesses. They achieve this by introducing immune system to antigen derived from inactivated, weakened, or fragmented bacteria or viruses. When a person is vaccinated, their immune system responds by producing antibodies that are specific to those antigens and create a memory of the pathogens. This memory allows the immune system to quickly launch a defense if the individual encounters the same pathogen acquired in the future, helping to prevent illness. Vaccine often protection without the risk of contracting the disease from others and experiencing severe side effects, unlike gaining immunity through the natural infection. The advantage of vaccine extends beyond just the individual receiving it to the entire community, a phenomenon known as community immune or herd immunity. By decreasing the overall occurrence of the disease in a population, vaccine helps protect unvaccinated individuals by lowering their chances of exposure to infection. The herd immunity vaccine programs and factors affecting vaccine. With vaccine programs, vaccine initiatives are public health efforts aimed at enhancing the population immunity against certain illness. These programs typically focus on highly contagious disease that can lead to severe health complications or mortality, such as measles, polio, influenza. There are several methods for implementing vaccine programs, including mass vaccination campaign. These are frequently employed during disease outbreak or swiftly boost immunity within the community. And we had the routine immunization, which approach features regularly planned vaccination, primarily aimed at infants and children, integrated into a nation healthcare system. The factors affecting vaccine updates. Several elements can have an effect on the uptake of vaccine, including access to the healthcare in many components of the world, get entry to healthcare offerings is limited. That may save you from receiving vaccine. Education and focus. Lack of understanding approximately the significance of vaccine can result in decreased uptake. Education campaign can assist to growth, focus, and understanding.